Hello, my friends. Ellie Kate here. I want to talk to you about a book I contributed with Tamworth Castle and other local writers. It is called Tales from the Dark Side. And like If the Walls Could Talk, we did a night of ghost stories on Halloween 2023. You can also see a reel of me performing it on the day at Tamworth Castle at night, which I'm going to reread to you today. My story is called A Gallows Dance. So here we go. Here I stand at the foot of the gallows. They think they have done with me, and that this is my end. No, they are wrong. I await my final judgment, accused of murder, as I look out at the thousands of spectators that have come to watch me die. I stand strong and proud. I have no wish to speak ill of what I have done and what I will face. Those that have judged me call it murder. I call it justice. I am so glad to go and depart from this world and my wretched life. As my judge and jury watch on, they have no real idea what went on. They do not know what I went. They do not know what I went through, but I do, and I'll tell you my truth. I confess my sins to Almighty God, and so I stand and to await my death. I was born Mary Dupont of the year of the Lord 1818 to a well-off family. I wanted for nothing and was brought up to become a lady, fit enough for the marriage market as soon as I became of age. When time came, I was introduced to Lord Fitzwilliam Rudolph, and it was proclaimed that we would be wed. The match was well suited, and I found I was falling fast in love with him. He had the air of a gentleman, a husband that any woman of my status would envy, and soon enough we were wed. I bore him a daughter and 2 sons. Again, we wanted for nothing. We lived in high society, envy to all that knew us. I thought we lived in true happiness. I was wrong. Tragedy struck us. First, my youngest son, John, contracted scarlet fever and died. Shortly after, my oldest son, Fitzwilliam Jr., contracted the deadly disease and died. I cannot tell you how distraught I was. There was no words to describe how I felt. I lost 2 sons within 2 months of each other. My husband's character changed overnight. His true colours came out. I found out about his squandering of our family money. He was drinking at all hours of the night and gambling. He wasted away every single penny we had. So much so that everything we owned had to be sold off, and we became impoverished. I never left the sorry. I never left the flea-bitten hovel of a one room that we had to call home. No longer was I the well-to-do lady I was brought up to be. Fitzwilliam was no longer the handsome man I was in awe of. All day and all night he wasted his life, and whatever little money came in, which wasn't a lot, he spent on women of ill repute. When he was at home, he'd beat me. I could take the beatings, and the constant slurs, "You bitch, you good-for-nothing whore." I couldn't take all that. I could take all that. The one thing I could not stand was what he did to my precious Sophie, the only child I had left. Her beauty was like no other. Her long blonde ringlets and her bright blue eyes. Oh, I see them now as I stand upon the scaffold. I wanted her better for her, but I know that I could never give her the life that she truly deserved. Now it seems funny, as I stand and wait my death, that even after all I've done, I still cannot give her that life. But at least Fitzwilliam can no longer harm her. My husband destroyed her beautiful soul. He was beating our daughter. Whatever he did to me, that was fine. But there was no way I would stand for him to harm our only child, my sweet, sweet Sophie. On catching him, I pulled him off her, and in this drunken state he staggered out. I could no longer allow him to do it again. Something had to be done. There was no way I could go to the justices, as it would be my word against his, and I had no evidence other than my own eyes. I had to take justice into my own hands. I prepared a plan of action and required some arsenic. Each day, little by little, and meal by meal, I added small doses into his food, and day by day, I watched the vile man I called husband sicken. First, the nausea took hold. Then he was bedridden at death's door. His eyes were blank and dark. He was dying. I was trapped between morality and justice. I knew deep down that what I was doing was wrong. But the thought of my husband's slimy hands all over my daughter urged me to continue to take justice into my own hands. The more I fed him the poison, the better it made me feel. I did not care if I was discovered. My only care was for justice to be done, to be upheld. My husband finally died on the 15th of July, 1849. It was a horror to look on his face he were anyone else. I had no feeling for the lifeless carcass that was once my husband. My sweet Sophie was now free of his vileness, and so was I. A doctor came and pronounced him dead. The verdict was natural causes. But then came the talk of our town. Suspicion was following me around like a shadow I could not shake. That I was the one who caused his death. Which is true, but no one was supposed to know. That I did everything I could to cover up my crime. I scrubbed my house from top to bottom, rid myself of the soup, but still, because of suspicion, the police were called. There was nothing that could be linked to me to Fitzwilliam's death. But my downfall came when I left a small bottle of arsenic out. How could I have forgotten that? I cursed myself for such foolery. I had no cause to deny the fact that I took his life. My defence was that I did it in defence of my daughter's life, but it went on deaf ears. I was found guilty of murder. As I stand upon the scaffold, I am thankful for my sweet, sweet girl is not here to witness what I'm willing to sacrifice for her. I am thankful that my sister Edie and her husband Joseph, who have taken in my Sophie, out into the countryside, far away from this moment. My time has come to an end. Ascending the steps, a rope is placed around my neck. Its rough fibres scratch my throat. The executioner pulls my arms around my back, trussing them up. There will be no hood or blindfold for me. The crowd are hungry for blood. They have their delight on their faces, but I will not cry. I will not show anything but the dignity of a lady. The crowd jeers. Soon my lifeless body will swing from side to side. Upon the rope, my body will contort in the dance of death. 6 others have already taken the gallows dance as they swing below me. Do not mourn my passing. As I depart from this life, I only ask and pray that my Sophie will finally have the life she deserves. A life I could only dream of giving her. My last thoughts are of her. Now I take my leave to dance the final dance, a gallows dance. I was inspired to write this story by many women that were victims and felt they were in dire need from their husband, and the only way they could do it was to kill. And they were victimised and put on trial for murder, as though they were the murderers, as though they were the monsters. Mary DuPont was comprised by many murderesses of the Victorian period. But when I think of her, I think of the murderess Kate Webster, who killed Julia Martha Thomas out of what I believe is jealousy. I do not know why I visualise Kate Webster when I see my character, as they both come from two different backgrounds. One was from high society. Kate was a maid and she moved to England, and they kill for different reasons, but I always think of her when I write. Actually, any murderess, to be fair. I just find I'm drawn to her very much, so because she's a cold and calculating killer. As you can see, if these walls could talk, the illustrations were created by Rosie again. I will probably butcher her business page. Sorry, Rosie. Flontaine.com. You can purchase these books at Tamworth Castle. If you're around Tamworth, I suggest you should go and visit the castle. It is a wonderful little castle full of actual vibrant history. Before I go, I would like to mention for you to purchase my book, The Nature of Trouble, on on Amazon, $7.99. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Friday. Until then, goodbye. Oh, you can please like and share this video, please, so I can get as many viewers as possible. So till next Friday, goodbye. Thank you.